Wow, the lights are bright here. Good morning. First, I want to take a minute and thank Terrapin for giving us the opportunity to really talk about what we're doing as far as final mile at Sears Holdings. I have the honor to be here and talk about where we are and where we are headed in the next couple of years as we transform our technology solution into our supply chain. So before I go to the next slide, let me give you what our mission really is. Our mission is very simple: to serve, delight, and engage our members while they shop their way. For those of you who are not aware, we just started a shopping system, so to speak, called Shop Your Way Rewards. So we have two types of customers who come into the stores, right? One who are basically transaction-based. That means they come in, they shop, and you don't see them for several years. So what our thought process was to really take those customers and then convert them to members. And then, so that way your Shop Your Way Rewards system rewards the members more than a transaction-based customer. So we just started that about a year and a half ago. We're seeing quite a bit of success. So there's a lot of what we call members coming back, and we call it a multiplier effect, where the members are coming back and then they're redeeming their points, and then in fact they're buying more things. So that is a success story of what we are seeing. What I'm going to talk about today is really, I know Mark just left, but I know he talked about connected, interconnected. What we call at Sears is very simple. We call it integrated retail. And integrated retail is basically serving the members on their terms, whether it be online, in-store, on phone, at home. However they shop, we are there to delight and engage them. So that's what our primary mission is. Okay, let me see how this technology piece works here. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, my topic basically is the final mile, which is the big box. For those who are not aware, Sears holds the dominance in appliance market share. We own about 30% of market share in major appliances. Coupled with that, we are the biggest fitness provider in the industry, treadmills, so forth, exercise equipment. So while many companies are focused on trying to talk about omni-channel, how do we get it shipped from store, we have done that. We've been shipping from store for past 5 years. So I'm not going to spend too much time because we had a session like this. We talked at the RELA conference just this year, talking about the small package. To me, small package is very simple. It's called shipping. It's not delivery. When I talk about delivery, it is a complex solution, what I'm talking about. Delivery is the final mile where a couple folks have to get into a member's home not knowing what they're going to face with. So it's a little more complex than shipping. So when I use the term delivery, I just want to make sure we're all connected. It is the final mile of a big box product, such as a big appliance, a tractor, a treadmill, patio furniture, that comes into your home, and you want it where you want it, which room you want it, and the term thus comes the white glove, right? So that's what I'm going to talk about. So as everybody is working on omni-channel, which we have done, we are more focused on how do we become the big box dominant player in the market, because that's exactly what's going to happen. As the members start figuring it out, hey, I can get free shipping. I can get free shipping same day, next day, because we are taming the members to do that. Now the question is, I think Mark talked about earlier, right? Would the member really want to pay for same day, or the member wants free delivery? And guess what? We just started free delivery. I think somebody asked a question earlier to say, how much analytics did you guys do to compare free delivery versus charging for delivery? And we were the last ones to jump on that bandwagon. The reason for that is we have done quite extensive analytics. It's a big revenue opportunity you're giving up when you give free delivery. So you got to be confident enough to say, do I have enough sales to offset my lost revenue from giving away the free delivery? And the answer is yes, and we have done it. And we just launched it, and I don't know how many of you saw the ad over the weekend. I was watching NCAA games. First time after a long time, Sears has advertised free home delivery. And I can tell you the numbers are appalling because I have my carrier partners in here, and we've been talking about it. How do we get the teams there? How do we flex up for the anticipated volume? It's been pretty exciting for us. So along with that, we are introducing some technology because guess what? Technology is what's going to enable you to get to the next level. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Here are the 4 key building blocks. I know I have 30 minutes, so I'm not going to spend too much time. I think we can connect later on if you have any questions, what we're talking about. But these are the 4 key pillars. If you want to be successful in the final mile, you got to have a network infrastructure. I know Mark talked about they're building it. We have it. Point of sale integration, key, very, very key. And I'm going to show you why it's key as we move forward. Capacity planning and routing. I think somebody asked a question about, how are you going to give the members a flexible timeline? I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. And then at the tail end, you got to get the feedback. You got to get the feedback from the members of what's working, what's not working, put the analytics in place, fix them, and then go back to the market. So infrastructure, physical presence, this is what our network, this is what we stand for. We have 11 big box distribution centers. People are trying to build these. We have them in place. 7.5 million square feet. Pretty big dominance. So if you're a vendor doing business with me, I'm going to tell you to ship into these 11 boxes, not to the 900 stores and all this. What's going on in the industry? This is the model that's going to be successful for final mile home delivery. 90% of the population is within the radius of 400 miles, right, where the stores are. Market delivery operations, that's what we call them. Product gets there the night before, unloaded, staged. Our carrier partners come in the morning, and they deliver. We are the only retailer right now that you could buy before 3 p.m., and we can deliver to any zip code across the United States. It's not that if you have the inventory in the store, we don't do that business. It's all predicated on the network infrastructure. If you're in California, you can buy in California. We can deliver to you in New York if your family member lives there. That is the power of the network. That's why I said it's a key pillar, number 1 pillar. 5 store delivery operations, those are small in the rural areas. We do on an average of about 1,000 trucks. We're talking about 13,000 to 15,000 home delivery stops that we have an opportunity to go into our members' home every day. 13,000 to 15,000. Just think about the power of that. 85% of the orders delivered within 1 or 2 days. Big number, big number. As we start working on members' terms, same day is going to come to play. Same day is not going to be free. I can tell you right now. We've done the analytics. Same day is not going to be free. Now, if you want to do free delivery for same day, certain retailers can do that, but I can guarantee you that's going to put a big burden on the bottom line. And then we have other locations. Here's what we're doing. We are taking the 106 market delivery operations, and believe it or not, we are actually putting a technology piece into it, warehouse management system. So why? Because so far we've been doing business on a piece of paper and a pencil, right? Traditional home delivery, cross-dock, low cost, don't want any technology, right? Product comes in, doesn't stay there, gets loaded, cross-dock. The reason why we are putting home delivery is the warehouse management into home delivery is very simple. We have to provide visibility all across. The pain point, the biggest pain point, what we learned is members calling a call center, and the call center agent is sitting there, has no visibility where the product is, and they're giving some answers which might not be true. So we have to eliminate that pain point. The way you eliminate the pain point is providing supply chain visibility, total visibility. So once we have this information, we can post this on a .com site, and then the members can go in, log on, just like how you track your small package. Now you start tracking your big box. Where is my delivery? What time is it coming? Today what we do is we give you a time that's convenient for us, right? We call you the night before, and guess what? We give you a 2-hour time frame. Not a 4-hour, we give you a 2-hour time frame. But those 2 hours, you're going to be notified the day before, the night before, evening before your delivery. Now, which might not be convenient because if it's 11 to 1, you have to be at work. So I'm sharing some of the pain points why technology is going to be a solution. So here's what the point of sale, getting a good start, bobsled. I think these bobsled and home delivery are really tightly related. You know why? On bobsled, you got to have a good start. If you don't have a good start, you're not going to finish. The same thing with home delivery. If you don't have a good start at point of sale, if you don't set the expectations right, the poor delivery team that goes in at the tail end cannot do their job. Right? What do I mean by that? What do I mean by setting expectations at point of sale? For those of you who are buying refrigerators, what's happening in the industry? They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If you don't take time to measure how much opening you have in the house, the team is going to come and guess what? Your refrigerator is not going to fit in the slot that you thought you're going to put it in. So we have just wasted a bunch of money all across supply chain and disappointed the member because we did not set our expectations right at point of sale. Mark talked about 50% members looking at online, and this is what we're looking at, 87. We're actually starting to look at some of the showroom concept, right? Showrooming, that's what's going on, right? In the industry, people go look at online, then they go to the store, they touch and feel, and they go back and order online. So we're reversing that trend. So we are actually giving the members the capability to do all that at point of sale. Clear communication, I think we talked about it. A perfect delivery starts with a perfect order, as I told you earlier, right? So this is what we are doing, fitting a tight schedule. This is where we are taking our terms and changing them and saying, hey, we got to do this on the members' terms. So we have partnered with our preferred vendor, Descartes. I know Descartes is having a presentation later on in the conference. Jason is somewhere here if he's not. I know I've seen his name. So we are implementing the final mile routing system that's going to be, much more advanced than what we have today. Along with that, there are two more elements that we are really, really embarking on. One is mobile technology, and the other one is capacity planning. This is what's going to do. Now, we can do this, right? Fitting the schedule. We can give all the stuff flexibility that the member wants. But the key is, how do we do it profitably? You got to do it profitably, right? You got to make money. We are in the business of making money. At the end of the day, you got to make money. So what we're going to do here is you're going to see, we're going to change a couple things in here where based on where the demand is, we can provide you a flexible time window as we have your remote areas coming in. I think there's going to be some pricing options. Don't take these prices and run to the market and say, we know what Sears is going to charge because that's not, these are just examples of what we put in there. So, but again, just, give members the option, but the options have to be win-win, right? So we are going to be providing pretty soon 2-hour flexible windows that the member can pick either an online or at point of sale. So if you happen to be in the store, you could pick. We do have premium windows today we offer. Premium windows are delivery before 10 a.m. If you want delivery before noon, and you have another option which says you want delivery after 5. So we have some flexibility, but this is going to take us to the next level. All right, routing and scheduling, this is all kind of, we got the order management, we got point of sale, we've done everything right. This is a big deal because this is what is going to help us retain our most important asset, I call them, is our delivery teams. The population of delivery teams is shrinking. And we cannot be putting more and more and more on their plate and expect them to take care of A-class service, white glove service when they walk into a member's home. It's a very difficult job, very difficult job. How many of our kids get up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a delivery driver? Think about it. It is not an easy job. So our job is to make sure that we do everything from a technology perspective that's going to enable them to do their job simple. They don't have to think. We provide the routes. All they got to do is dress up in the morning in the uniform that we prescribe, come to our dock. They'll be handed the load. They'll load up. They'll go and take care of our members. Is a critical component because this is what's going to drive the financial benefit for the delivery teams. How many stops am I going to do within my length a day? This is what the magic. This is what does the magic. All right? I can talk about this for 2 hours, but I don't want to go there right now because we don't have time to talk about it. But again, at this scale, every basis points of efficiency. It's not only for the teams, but for us. Improving productivity, stops per truck, less miles between stops, right? All these things matter. Why? Because we are giving away free delivery. We have to lower our overall cost structure. And if we don't do that, our bottom line is going to be impacted. All right, mobile technology. Why mobile? We're doing paper today. Life is good. They sign it. We keep the papers for 10 years, retention. Why not keep doing on the paper? As I told you before, we got to have real-time visibility. Paper does not give me real-time visibility. Mobile is going to give me real-time visibility. I can tell you exactly what time you're going to get your delivery because I have now, with my sophisticated routing system, my dispatch monitoring system, I have breadcrumbs that show me exactly where my truck is. Why? Because of GPS and geofencing. So the mobile and electronic signature capture not only give me visibility, it's going to eliminate all of the millions and millions of paper that we use, so we're going to be much more greener. We have electronic data signature capture, which means we don't need all these files and paper. The third thing is it gives the delivery team capability of taking a picture at point of delivery to protect their pocket. What happens today? We go deliver. Half an hour later, the member calls and says, your delivery team damaged my floor. I have no idea if that is true. It might be true in a lot of cases. Or is it a perception? Now I'm giving the capability to the team to say, hey, make sure you save your pocket. Don't want to claim. I don't want to claim you and take your money away. So we're going to have visibility all the way through the completion of the delivery. I mean, think about all the benefits, right? So mobile allows that flexibility. And then, guess what? The best part is now I know where the delivery team is, and if they are somewhere nearby my store, I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm going to inject some online small packages onto your truck, pick it up. While you're in this zip code, you're going to hit this address, deliver it. Pretty slick. Same day order injection. I know FedEx guys are like sitting there saying, oh my God, this is good stuff, right? You guys are thinking about the same things. I know that. And our UPS, our partners, they're thinking the same thing. But again, mobile. Why mobile? That's the reason why we need. This is critical element, member feedback. Member feedback is very, very critical for us. It's very critical. This is what's going to tell us what we're doing good, what we're doing bad, and how do we fix what we're not doing right. And we take this very seriously, member feedback. So there are two ways we are doing the member feedback right now. It's called post-recap email. So as soon as your delivery is done, we send you an email, and then you tell us how good or how bad we are. When mobile comes in, we're actually going to put a button on there which says driver assist. And if for some reason the member is not happy, before you leave the house, tell me that the member is not happy. Don't wait for the survey to come back. Real-time identifying a problem, real-time resolution. Think about the power of that. No more delay, real-time. So this is what we're talking about, right? I mean, again, the relationship between delivery and bobsledding. If everything works out the way I talked about, I think we're going to hit the home run, right? So this one is, again, tying back to the 4 pillars I started off with, network, point of sale, and all that. So this basically, we have the network. We're making some changes by introducing capacity plan at point of sale, which gives us the ability to sell flexible point of sale windows. We're implementing a routing out of 106 sites. We just finished 23. We have a very aggressive schedule to roll this out this year so that we are ready for our 4th quarter peak. We got technology alerts I talked about, what we're doing. And then at the end, survey and metrics, right, and the analytics. So we got a team that really does our network design and data modeling and analytics up in Hoffman. Pretty much they tell me what's going on with the business, and then we make those decisions. But as the statement states, right, it's simple to understand and never-ending challenge to execute. The big box home delivery business, when you stand here and you talk about it, it's very simple. You can sometimes oversimplify by saying, hey, all we are doing is moving boxes from point to point. we forget the element of members. We forget the element of surprise when you walk into the member's home. And if you don't really pay attention to that, let me tell you, they're going to come and bite us really, really bad. You know, we do about 4 million deliveries annually, home deliveries, just home deliveries. And we do about 800,000 home installs, installation business. So it's a pretty complex business. I think from a retailer standpoint, we are the biggest volume. There are a couple of our carrier partners who are pretty close to what we do from a volume standpoint. And our intent is to grow this business. Like I told you, we want to be the big box of UPS on that first slide. Because this is a niche business, and then once you know what you're doing about it, there's no turning back. Not too many people will jump in and say, I want to do home delivery. You heard Mark, they're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. All right, and then the last thing I want to tell you is this business is only as good as your last delivery. I tell you, my team does 4 million home deliveries. I don't get a lot of thank you cards. Nobody comes and tells me, pats me on the shoulder and say, hey, Kris, you're doing a great job, But I can guarantee you, one delivery goes bad, there'll be an email on my phone right now waiting to say, how the hell did you guys screw this up? So I usually tell my delivery teams, you guys are only as good as your last delivery. So don't celebrate too much, because you screw one up, people are going to focus on that. So with that, I think we have a few minutes. I'll just turn over for any questions. Come on, you got to have questions for this. This is a complex business. I can't hear that mic properly for some reason. I know me. So some time ago we
split your franchise part from your main holdings company, and are you servicing both sides of that?
Yeah, so let me just tell you what my role is. I'm actually employed by a company called Sears Logistic Services. That is a subsidiary of Sears Holding. And we manage the entire home delivery and installation for Sears, Kmart, whoever wants to come. We also do some third-party business. We are actually commercializing Sears Logistics Services. We do some third-party business for AFES, Navy Exchange. Those are our third-party clients, and we do business with them. All right.
Oh, sorry, I think we have another question here.
Good morning, Doug King with QVC. I heard that you have a couple of premium windows that you're opening for customers, largely before they go to work or after they come home from work or the weekends. Do you anticipate that the customer in the future will tolerate that, or at the point of sale will they make a demand that that's always available to them? Because I see your software is optimizing to your least cost, but at what point do you think that the customer demand might override the least cost solution for you?
So here's what we're seeing right now, right? So that's the reason why I said we do have some flexible windows, but they're not free. They're not free. So if you want a delivery before 10 o'clock, there is a charge. It's not a big number, but it's $9.99 or $19.99 depending on the market. We know that there are some members that would really, really want a specific time window, and they're willing to pay because their time is much more valuable than what we're going to give you a free delivery. A free delivery it's called what we call a to be scheduled. It's just a wide open time frame. So yeah, that's the reason why we are going to the flexible windows. Rather than giving them 1 or 2 choices, now we're going to give them multiple choices, up to like 6 or 8. We're trying to refine it to say, at what point it becomes, again, it's, as I told you, it's a win-win situation, right? I want to make sure, I want to give what I need to give the member, but at the same token, I want to make sure I'm not giving the farm away, so I have to figure it out how to make money. Because what I cannot do is go to my business units and say, hey, I'm giving free delivery this year. Guess what? Next year, I'm going to raise your rate. I can't do that. So that's where we are right now. I'd say it's a great question. I mean, it is not an easy solution. Otherwise, we would have implemented it by now. All right. Sorry.
Good morning, Mark Solomon, DC Velocity Magazine. I came in a few minutes into your presentation, so I don't know if you covered this or thought about it. How much of the fulfillment comes from the store as opposed to the distribution center right now?
So I'm going to tell you about home delivery, what I just talked about, which is the big box stuff, which is like big appliances, treadmills, anything big that the member cannot take it in their car, mattresses. We do 95% of that stuff comes through our distribution network. We do very small percentage from the stores. We have the capability of doing that from the stores. The only time we do home delivery of a store item is when there is what we call a line transition, which means the floor models are going to change, and we have floor models on the store floor that we need to liquidate. So we do that, and it is very transparent to the member. The member doesn't know that, hey, store is going to deliver. It's all integrated into our network. So you'll have the same experience. It's not like the store guy is going to come in a different shirt and versus a network guy coming in a full uniform. So you'll see the same uniform presence.
Any other questions? Okay, I think this will be our last one.
Hi, Paul Capellas from Peapod. Obviously, with each type of delivery or installation you make, there's a time associated with it. When you start to give 2-hour windows and you have a difficult installation, you could easily become delayed for later deliveries and installations down the road. What are you guys putting in place to try to kind of rescue a guy, or if a couple routes get behind, what do you do to get a guy back on track or help make sure no more deliveries are going to be late down the road?
Yeah, that's a great question. Today we are on a paper-based environment, so we don't have the visibility of how that route is progressing, right? So today everything is in the paper unless the guy calls in and says, yep, I'm at this place, I'm at Peapod stop, I'm delivering a refrigerator right now, and they don't have a shut-off valve, so I'm going to be here for another, that's all manual process today. So with the technology and the geofencing, it's going to give us that visibility ahead of time to say, if the truck is not moving and it's stuck at Peapod address, and it's supposed to be there only 20 minutes, now it's 40 minutes, we don't have to wait there to say, what's going on? We already know that now with the technology. We will, nationally. We don't have a national rollout yet. So once we know that, then what we do is we partner with our carriers and say, uh-oh, this team is in trouble. They got 5 more stops. Now, who's in that area that could pick up 2 or 3 stops to give them relief? So it's called the dynamic route monitoring is what it's going to give us the capability. Today, we depend on the delivery team to call what we call an IVR, So they call in and say, hey, I've arrived at this member's home at this time. And then they say, oh, yeah, I departed from this home at this time. Press 2 for AM or press 3 for PM. A lot of wasted time. So all that is going to go away. It's going to give us a clear line of sight as what's happening with the routes, so we can make decisions. All right, folks, I'm here all day today, so certainly we can network later on. But thank you for providing us this opportunity. I hope this added a clear benefit for you folks as to where we are headed from a final mile. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kris. So everybody in your programs, you've probably seen